follow the car in front of me, hit my turn signal, get into the bank parking lot, and roll on through to Radio City. 4 out of 5 days. We aren't talking about a hard yellow. We aren't talking about a light that has barely within a millionth of a second flashed red as a late and harried commuter got through the intersection. No. We are talking about my light is green and somebody is blowing through the intersection on westbound Shaw. It is 4 out of 5 days. The one thing I'll say is it has trained me to sit and to look rather than seeing green and putting my foot on the gas, which I suppose is probably the actual intelligent driving decision anyways. Just give it a quick peek. But if you are on southbound Palm, crossing westbound Shaw, somewhere between 1 and 1:20 on a weekday afternoon, you will witness blatant red light running. And that's just some pig. It's some selfish idiot who doesn't care about the fact that they mistimed their commute. They don't care about the fact that that is in part indicated by those colored lines that are painted on the street. Slide on those cars. And now people come, why are you touching my car? Why are you in the crosswalk, you mouth-breathe light? But for the entirety of the red light, they are inching into the intersection. And I think that breed of idiot somehow thinks that either A, there's some sensor on the light that's going to see that they really want to go now, that's just going to stop everybody else so they can go. It's crossed my mind that they think that people are going to stop for them so they can just blow the light and go. I think the reality is that they are impatient, distracted idiots playing with their phones and not keeping their foot firmly on the brake. Fresno has a terrible red light problem. We could solve every fiscal need in Central California. I am talking about staffing the police department, staffing the fire department, funding the Department of Health and Human Services, all of these specialty task force, all of these specialty task forces, all of these officers who have been promoted up into detective and higher ranks. They all have important things to do, and I am not condemning anybody who wears the badge. Not for a minute. And I'm not condemning our chief of police. I'm not condemning our mayor. I'm not. Because they have things that they have to do. But if somebody made the terrible mistake of putting the scepter in my hand for a day, we're going to have a special traffic enforcement day where everybody who wears a uniform, I am talking reserve officers, I am talking cadets, I am talking anybody who under the law can credibly be deputized, issued a tin star and a ticket book, would go out and jam up everybody running red lights, everybody speeding in a school zone, everybody disobeying any traffic law outside of an elementary school, everybody who's unlawfully parked in a handicap spot. One day, everybody gets a ticket. If you don't drive like you are trying to pass your 16th birthday DMV on the road test with the Dragon Lady, you're going to get a ticket. Can you imagine what we could do for the general fund, what we could do for law enforcement staffing, what we could do for education? One day, everybody gets a ticket. You violate any rule of the road. You touch the screen of your phone to clear an advertisement at a stoplight. Ticket, distracted driving. But the red light runners, start with them. Does Fresno have a problem with drivers running red lights? That's the Daily Buzz question at kmjnow.com. Association is recommending to their members while we deal with kids threatening educators. 5 o'clock hour, Clint Olivier is going to be here in his capacity as CEO of BizFed Central Valley. And there's a couple of surprises on this list. It is not just check the box next to the name with the R after it this time. And Clint's going to walk us through why that is. But the president has been in China, and it's been different, I think, than what at least I was expecting. Now, they've done all the pomp and circumstance and the kids coming out and waving Chinese and American flags and a big, beautiful band playing the Star-Spangled Banner and the Chinese anthem. They did all of that, and that's great. That's what a lovely welcome. Then President Xi Jinping warned President Trump that any mishandling of Taiwan could lead to, quote, an extremely dangerous situation. So he pointed directly at the point of tension that has loomed over our relationship with China since President Trump came back into office. Now, this is in line with China's longstanding position, but that he would come out and say so plainly and so early in this visit dimmed the mood a little bit. The point of this, I think, at least in the mind of those of us not at the table, was that this would be an effort to stabilize ties, that we could work out a deal between the Trump tariffs and the Xi Jinping rare earth export embargo. There's also more than a little bit to do with Iran in this story, because China imports a tremendous amount of oil from Iran and from other Gulf nations. And right now, with the Strait of Hormuz in the condition that it's in, China is starting to look at their reserves with a wary eye. And that was brought up. But Xi Jinping has made it abundantly clear he wants to weaken the American commitment to Taiwan. President Trump has not really addressed it. And that's significant in my mind, because President Trump has a habit of just saying what he's thinking. And that he has ignored the barb about Taiwan, and while still refraining from any sort of nod towards Taiwanese independence. I think that we're seeing the diplomatic machinations of the mind of Donald Trump at work. He doesn't want to directly, publicly contradict President Xi Jinping. He also knows that a betrayal of Taiwan, it not only weakens the appearance of American power in the Pacific, but it also creates a supply chain issue of its own sort. Because not only is the Chinese rare earth embargo starting to become an issue in manufacturing, but the semiconductors that we get from Taiwan, there's been a massive investment. The Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, TSMC, they have spent billions building 2 new facilities here in the United States, in Arizona of all places. But they still have a massive manufacturing operation back at home. And if you like computers that go fast and phones that work well, you got Taiwanese chips in there. So for President Trump not to take the bait, I think that it shows that he is playing his cards close to the vest. When President Trump was asked how he thought things were going, great place, incredible, China's beautiful, and then he declined to answer. Visit to our frenemy right now, Michael.